Hey guys, me again. It's challenge 2 of Body Uncomfortable. Just finished it for the whole day. Yeah, it was quite a tough one. I did physical discomfort today. And what I decided to do for this one is I wasn't going to use my whole right arm for the whole day. And I'm right-handed, so this is going to be a real struggle. I don't really use my left hand for much. I can't write with my left hand. It's like physically impossible. It just doesn't work. It's like it doesn't work. And so yeah, I knew this was going to be a challenge for me. But the whole thought process behind it was obviously taking myself out of my comfort zone physically and emotionally, because with this one, a lot of people are disabled or crippled in some way, some due to birth defects and deformities, others due to unfortunate accidents. But they learn to compensate for these things, and they come up with amazing ways to still do everything that you and I can do with two hands, but they only have, like, say, for example, the use of one arm. And so the whole point of it was to learn and try to come up with solutions to every problem that I was going to face with not being able to use my right arm. And I told my parents I was going to do this one, and straight off the bat, parents said no, flat out, you're not allowed to drive to college. And I mean, I stay in Lucia. Literally, it takes me 5 minutes with traffic to get to Vega. It's not a long drive. And flat out, my parents said no, you're not allowed to drive. So I had to organize this one on my mom's day off. So that was fun, because now suddenly I'd had some of my freedom straight away taken away from me, and because I love driving, it's the one thing I look forward to every day. And that was taken away straight off the bat. My mom said, cool, I will drop you off at college and I will pick you up when you're done from lectures. And so it was hectic. I mean, I arrived at college and friends automatically turned around and said, yo, it's so weird seeing me arrive at college being dropped off, because they now completely associate me with my car and with just driving around. They don't associate that anymore. And so I thought that was quite funny. But get there, and straight away I thought people were going to be quite off-put by the fact that I only had one arm. And what I did is I've taken my arm out of the sleeve now, but I just buttoned up the sleeve, as you can see, and I'd put my entire arm inside this check shirt. It's quite a big one. So I just had the sleeve hanging down, and straight away when I got out the car, people saw, because I had to get out on the passenger side, so I was driven up alongside Vegas, so I got out right next to the building, and straight away, people that were outside having a smoke, people that just come out of lectures, noticed that I hadn't got use of my right arm, and I had to go around to the back of the car, lift the boot up with my left hand, or out, should I say, because my mom's boot opens outwards, and then grab my bag, chuck it on my left shoulder, which I never do. I always carry stuff on my right shoulder, which was weird for me. It was such a struggle. And then close the boot, and then go off to college. And straight away, people were staring. But what I thought was interesting is people noticed that I didn't have the use of my one arm, and that I might have been struggling with, like, getting things done with my left arm. But not a single person. There was about 10 people outside. Not a single person came and said, "Sorry, can I help you?" Or "Are you okay?" Or "Do you need help just carrying your bag?" or whatever. And there's people that I've interacted with at Vega, people who've seen me, people who know me, and I just thought it was really interesting, because I thought, I'm technically not crippled, but I'm crippled for the day, and I thought this is what a crippled person would go through, and it's something seriously mundane and ordinary, but not a single person, if they were in my shoes, would have gone up to them and said, "Hey, can I help you?" And so I thought that was just actually really sad. Not that I wanted help. I was trying to be as independent as possible this whole day. But I just thought it was really sad. That's something they go through on a daily basis, and nobody came to say, "Hey, can I help?" So anyway, went upstairs into college, and walking into lectures, that's fine. I mean, there's nothing strange about that. So I sat down, and I don't take notes in a book. I find it way easier to type on my laptop. And I had brand strat early in the morning, and Kate, if you've ever sat in one of her lectures, goes through those slides like super fast. And if you're not quick on your keyboard, you're gonna miss the stuff. Thankfully, I'm a pretty good typer with both hands, but now down to just one hand, that was not fun. So here's me, like, going super fast on my keyboard trying to type, and I mean, like, words are coming out like and things like that, and brand is suddenly brand, and strange new words that don't make sense were coming out of my keyboard, and I was having to decipher these while still trying to keep up with the rest of the class, and then the register came around. I don't even think I've been marked present for those lectures. My signature doesn't even resemble a signature. I think a 2-year-old or a baby or a toddler that's literally just picked up a pencil for the first time would have a better chance of making my signature look more like my signature. It was quite scary, and I thought, and when the register came to me, I thought, okay, cool, let me try to do this carefully, and I had to sign like twice or 3 times, and it was actually a real pain. I mean, even just getting the pencil or pen, whatever, I used a pen, yeah, getting the pen in the correct position in your hand. I mean, for right hand, I pick up the pen, I know exactly where it's going. To actually position a pen in your left hand, I mean, it was so strange. It felt so foreign and weird to me, and straight away I thought, oh, shine a light. I'm not going to be able to make a signature. And I almost put up my hand and said to the lecturer, sorry, Kate, can I just put a tick because I can't actually do a signature? But I thought, no, the whole point is to, make yourself as uncomfortable as possible and to try do everything ordinarily that you would do. So I did something that resembled a signature, if you want to call it that. And everybody kind of laughed at me because they were all watching to see how I handled this thing, no pun intended. And then it was really funny because end of the lecture comes, and like I say, I record everything on my laptop. And if you've noticed in lectures, I have 2 laptop cases. I got one that's like this grey and green thing, which is a slide-in case, which I got with my laptop when I bought it for free. And then prior to getting to my laptop, I'd bought a laptop cover. I've got it around here somewhere. Hold on. Yeah, don't fall off chair. This one, it's a Vans one, and it's a beautiful zip-up case. Now, I don't recommend operating a zip with one hand. It doesn't work. So, firstly, trying to get this laptop into this slide-in cover was mission impossible because it's a magnetic thing, and you have to open it. You flick it open with one hand, and then you put the laptop in with the other. Try doing that one-handed. Not easy. I do not recommend it. I mean, geez, minute to win it. They think they're so cool because they can put bolts on a stack. Try get a laptop into the cover with one hand. There you go. There's a better challenge. So anyway, eventually get the laptop into here, and I think, okay, cool, half the battle done. And now to try and get it into, like, say, this laptop cover. Eventually, I think by the end of the lecture, I gave up trying to zip it up. I mean, we generally are let go 5-10 minutes early from a lecture, and I couldn't zip it up. I literally physically couldn't. So I think I got the ones about halfway around, and the other one I couldn't get around the corner no matter which angle position I tried it in. By that stage, everybody was already walking out the door. Once again, nobody came to help, even though they were all laughing and seeing I was struggling. So I literally just kind of chucked the thing into my bag. I was so frustrated at the time, and I walked off to the next lecture. And in the lecture, I had the exact same problems. Thankfully, although it was finance, we don't do like much written work, so I could operate my calculator and I could look at my module guide and everything on my laptop, but I didn't have to actually operate anything with one hand. But still, it was so frustrating, like just doing things. I mean, even passing a register. I know that sounds so retarded, for lack of better words, but like if the person's next to you on your right side, and if there's a person on your left, you get the register with your left hand, you pass it with your right hand. If your hands are free. Suddenly now taking it with left and passing that way, or passing that way, or passing that way, just with your left hand. I mean, and you're trying to take notes. It's like, oh wait, and then coming back. It is so frustrating and time consuming. And I thought, how the hell do people do this on a daily basis? You only have one limb. I thought, I'm being driven insane. I've only been doing this for like 4 hours. Oh, forgot to tell you this. At the start of the day, I'm right-handed naturally, and I'm weird in the sense that I wear my watch on my right hand. And so I decided I was going to wear my watch on my left hand, and my watch is this very nice clip-on Guess watch, stylish. And as you can see, it's got a clip at the back. You fold the whole thing together and it clips together. Trying to put that watch on this morning, I couldn't. I I couldn't bend the thing properly. I mean, I've got my right arm inside my shirt the whole time, so I'm literally trying to do this on the counter and flick it and trying to push it down with my fingers. Eventually, I walked down the back of the house, said, "Mom, can you please just put this watch on me?" And she actually had to put my watch on. I couldn't actually do it, and that's something that you take for granted, and you don't think, oh, putting on a watch, wow, that's going to be a big stress when you've got one arm. And it really is suddenly really small things that you don't think about in your day-to-day life with regard to using your arms become really, really big things. Like I say, for my parents, I wasn't allowed to drive. I wasn't allowed to take the risk, even though it's less than 500 meters down the road, to drive with one hand and things like that. So I thought it was really, really interesting. By the end of the day, it was a horrible day. Eating with one hand, like a knife and a fork, you get a steak and you're like, doesn't work. Sporks, not the best invention ever created. So that was a massive struggle. But the whole point of my challenge was to try to raise awareness about the struggles that people go through who do only have one limb, and to make people aware that, although a lot of people are independent, even if they do have one limb, every once in a while they still do need help, and it is a very hard thing if you are independent to actually go and say, please, can you help me? And it's a lot easier if somebody comes up to you and says, hey, I see you struggling with that, can I help you? And it just shows how wrapped up people are within themselves, that yes, they knew this was my challenge, and yes, they knew I was only doing it for one day, but I think across the whole day, besides my mom and my dad, I mean, because they knew, and my dad would be like, oh, let me get this for you, or whatever. Not a single person actually came up to me and said, sorry, let me help you with that, I can see you struggling. And it's really sad to see then how wrapped up we all are within ourselves in society. And so I thought that was the greater comment that I was making, besides the fact that I was taking myself out of my comfort zone and forcing myself to do things differently and to understand and empathize more with a cripple or a person that has some kind of deformity. And so I learned a lot about people who do have to do these kind of things without the use of two limbs. And I learned a lot about myself. I mean, after a while, you do figure out ways of doing things. Unfortunately, I never mastered getting the watch on. But like at the start of the day, my mom laughed at me the day before because she said, what am I going to wear? So I said, no, I'll wear this shirt because it's slightly bigger and I can get my arm inside and it won't look too different. It'll literally look like I only have one arm. And she said, when I woke up in the morning before I went for a shower and stuff, she said, I'll take a bet you won't be able to button up your shirt with just one arm. And I laughed at her and I said, well, why not? And I did. I managed to do it. It was actually a struggle. I mean, strange enough, a couple of the buttons at the top really easy. As you got lower down, it became quite hard. But I still do it. But it's something that once again takes like 2 minutes ordinarily, and that's at a stretch. Is now taking me up to like 7 minutes to try and just put on a shirt, which is really scary. But yeah, I learned a lot about myself, that I can actually overcome things, even if they are uncomfortable. My body and my brain will find new ways of overcoming the challenges and to compensate for whatever disability there may be or whatever problem is facing. And so often you look at things and you think, yo, that is such a big deal or something, and meanwhile it's not. If you just think about it logically or just go about doing it and actually tackle it head on, your body will compensate and will actually find a way to overcome it, which I thought was really interesting and was a great experience for me, besides the fact of having like freedom and independence taken away, but the fact that your body will compensate and actually figure out ways of doing things. By the end of the day, I had mastered zipping up this thing with one hand. Like, I was so impressed with myself and so proud. And I know that's really stupid, but like I say, you learn to deal with things. So yeah, that is challenge 2 done for me. It was intense, and so the countdown has begun. 5 more to go. So stay tuned, guys, and yeah, hope you're enjoying the series as much as I'm not. Thanks,